lick back. Get your lick back. If a nigga owes you something, ain't no chit chat. Better stay up out the way, don't get your issue splat. Stop letting this shit slide and get your lick back. And get your lick back. I feel like I'm JX. J-Way. I'm a perfectionist. Adderall got me restless. I'm gone. Run with a wild crew, they get reckless. Young boy, come up off that neck. Give me that. To the trends. See a lead, be the band.
Good evening and welcome to another episode of Postgame Podcast. I actually started streaming a little early. The game's not quite over. Oh, wait. The Wizards are up 4 points with 5 seconds left. I'm pretty sure that they're going to finish this game off. Yeah, June. If you want to hop on, you can hop on. I'm not going to be on here long. I told myself I was going to record regardless of whether we won or not, but it appears that the Pistons are going to lose tonight by a score of 129 to 125 to the Washington Wizards. It just seemed like from the very beginning, the team came out flat. Unfortunately, on that 3-1-3 day, I was just about to say it. We lost in 3-1-3 day. We just played the Wizards a couple of days ago. It's tough to. They played a tough game though the last game, and we doubled up. And in the NBA, they're all professionals. The Wizards have a very talented, young, energetic team, and they gave us some fits in the first game, but the game was pretty much in control of. The Pistons were trailing for a lot of the game today. We kind of got things together at the end of the third quarter, and we seemed like we would be all right, but we were just not able to get stops when they mattered the most. And these games are disappointing. I'm not going to buy too much into it. Like I said, this is a tough young team that hasn't won a whole lot of games, but I really do believe that Marcus Smart and Middleton being a veteran presence on this team is helping them. And that young guy, Alex Sarr, a guy that we definitely paid attention to as the draft was approaching, is getting better. And he gave Jalen Duren some issues. I'm trying to pull up the box score here. But yeah, the final score of the game, was 129 to 125. The Wizards defeat the Pistons at home in Detroit. And I'm trying to pull up the team stats here. Yeah, team stats. Cade Cunningham had a strong game today. He had 38 points. Which really couldn't do too much. Damn. Oh my God. Computer is bugging out. Yeah, the Pistons the Wizards couldn't do too much with Cade, but let's pull up the box score. Yeah, Cade had 38 and 10, so a strong ball game from him. The next leading scorer was Jalen Duren. He had a pretty strong game as well, but Alex Sarr had 19 points. He was the leading scorer, and they spread it their scoring out very well between a lot of different guys. They had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys in double digits. So not a large offensive output by any particular person. Nobody had over 20 points, but Middleton had 16. Champagnie, if I don't have to see him again, it'll be too soon. He played tough. I feel like Champagnie is the one that was guarding Cade for a lot of the game. Bub Carrington had 16. Kispert had 14. Marcus Smart had 15. He gave the team fits for both games. Let's see if we can pull up the game. Okay, so they shot 45 threes and made 20 of them. So overall, percentage-wise, they shot in the high 40s. I want to say, 44% from three. Um, this was yet another game where the Pistons don't shoot well from three. They went 10 of 30, so 33% from three. They only made 10 of 30, and they attempted a lot more, but they converted on 44% of them. So yeah, we just couldn't get stops. Every time Cade went down, he either was getting fouled or he was converting baskets. He was getting the ball to Duren, but we could not stop them on the other end. Um, and yeah, this was a game that the Pistons took care of the ball. They only had 12 turnovers to Washington's 16, but they shot really well from three. And yeah, ultimately that would be the difference in the game. We seem to, it's crazy to think that as young as the Detroit Pistons are, sometimes those younger, energetic teams, those younger, hungry, and athletic teams tend to give the Pistons problems. The Blazers have given us problems in the few games that we played against them, and Washington gave us all that we could handle from both games. We were able to win the first game, and the second game, they were pretty much ahead for a lot of the game. And you could see it early. You could see that the Pistons just were not playing their best basketball. And these are the games that you want to be able to win. I mean, you can't win every game, even if it is against lower competition, but these are the games that you want to collect down the stretch, because it is going to be a tight race for that third, fourth, fifth, sixth spot. It looks like the Bucks smoked the Lakers tonight, so they'll obtain a game on us, and then I'm not sure if the Pacers play tonight. Let's check that out. Nope, doesn't look like they play tonight. But yeah, the Bucks are up 17 on the Lakers at home, so they'll win that game, and then the Pacers, I'm sure, play tomorrow. But current standings right now, the Pistons are in a three-way tie with the Bucks and Pacers, with us having the most wins but also having the most losses. So they snapped our 2-game winning streak, and yeah, the Knicks are up 5.5 games on the Pistons right now. Pistons next game is Saturday against the Thunder. That's gonna be a tough game. And then I think we got another, and then we got the Pelicans, who's another not very good team, but just goes to show tonight you can't you can't count teams out, especially young athletic teams. And like I said, they got a solid veteran presence. Rashawn Holmes played pretty well as well. I think he had a better game. I feel like he had a better game in the last game than he did today, but he was a nice force inside as well. Holmes had 6 points and 6 rebounds. But yeah, they play a solid game. The Wizards are going to be, especially with another nice draft class, because I feel like they had a lot of draft picks this past year. They obviously picked up Sarr. They picked up George, who's played well. Bub Carrington as well. So yeah, they're just a really young team that's learning how to win ball games, and they did not want to win back-to-back games in Detroit. They did not want to lose back-to-back games in Detroit, and it just showed. They wanted it more, despite how flat the Pistons look for a lot of the game. They still probably should have won this game, but they didn't. One thing I want to highlight, just you know, offensively, I mean, I don't think we really lost the game because of our offense. We put up 125 points, but just overall, we normally lean on Beasley to be a force out there. Lately, Schroeder has been the more consistent player, in my opinion. Beasley's been very spotty off and on. He only shot 2 for 3 from 3. Beasley usually gets up about 8 threes a game, but for whatever reason, he only had 3 attempts in this game. He played 29 minutes. So I gotta believe that that length and athleticism played a factor in that. But when certainly in games when Beasley doesn't play well, you lean more heavily on Asar Thompson and Tim Hardaway, and they just have not been consistent offensively. So these are the games where you miss that offensive punch that Jaden Ivey would be providing. Fontecchio had a decent game, but for the most part, usually he's somebody that is very spotty and streaky from 3. And when he's not giving you anything from the outside, there's not much more to offer. So, and Holland is still an inconsistent young 19-year-old player. He usually makes one, dazzling dunk or defensive play a game, but you just can't expect him to bring it every night. So, in conclusion, the Washington Wizards win the second of a back-to-back in Detroit, 129-125. They shoot pretty well from 3. They made 20 of 45 3-point attempts to the tune of 44%, and they squeeze out a victory. The Pistons were just not able to get stops down the stretch. The Wizards were able to get one more stop, because it's not like they were really able to stop Cade, but they made one more stop than we were able to make, and they reigned victorious in the game. The Pistons returned to action on Saturday against OKC in Detroit, and then after that, they play New Orleans in New Orleans, the Pelicans in New Orleans. So that wraps it up. Subscribe to Bleachers to Speakers on YouTube and Postgame Podcast on all audio aggregators. I'm out.